Hey everybody, just a quick update on the motorcycle situation as well as the business situation. The business has sold, not for the original amount. There's a whole lot of interesting things that happened that made me have to go and find other solutions for some of my other smaller clients. But hey, in the end, I'm not in the IT business anymore, but also I'm going to delay getting into the hotshot simply because with this whole coronavirus stuff happening, the markets that's kind of tanking and everything else, and everyone having troubles, it's not a wise business decision to jump right into that right now. So I'm going to wait till the market kind of corrects a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Quick update on the motorcycles. The Shadow 750 is currently at a friend of mine's. He's doing some work on the detailing, polishing it, and getting rid of the ugly stuff that the previous owner did to it. He's real great as far as like miniature, like die-cast car detail and whatnot. He has his own YouTube channel over here somewhere. I'll figure out a way to put it in the video, but you should go check it out. He actually enters competitions to make these little Hot Wheels cars look like they've been left in junkyards and whatnot. So he's gonna kind of clean up the 750 Shadow a little bit. The Honda Valkyrie, the one with the big 6-cylinder engine, is now running. I'll start that thing up in a minute. It is a beast. When I put the new head on it, it started pouring water out the exhaust almost immediately, which means either A, the head gasket I just put on it failed, or B, it's got another issue somewhere deeper inside the engine, such as a cylinder wall or something like that that's cracked and letting coolant come through. But in the midst of all this, I stumbled across this last night. This is a basket case, 1994 Harley Davidson Sportster 1200. You kind of see it in the condition that I saw it. The guy that I bought it from, he got it from a like a tow yard that went out of business. And so I was here, I'll flip it around and let you look at the bike while I talk. So he bought it from a tow yard that went out of business, and he doesn't do anything with it. He had another motorcycle he was messing around with, making it a little better, but he didn't have a key for it. He did have a title, but he had never heard it run. He threw the gas tank away because it was just so rusty. It had like rust holes through it. But I literally got it off the trailer last night, parked it in the garage, and I just dragged it out, hooked the jumper cables up to it, bypassed the ignition switch because we don't have a key for it, and I hope you like my janky insulator for the positive jumper cable so I don't arc against the frame. You know, you're loaded with money when you use your checkbook as an insulator. So I've got the truck hooked up, giving this thing some juice. We do have lights, as we can see. We've got turn signals and all that jazz. So everything on it works, even the horn. And so when we hit the start button, so that's what we get. That's just strictly the battery doesn't have enough juice, and there's not enough coming through the jumper cables to make this thing spin over. So the motor sounds good. You heard that ka-dunk, ka-dunk a couple of times. You've got compression, it's spinning over, it's not locked up. However, in getting this thing, let me turn the truck off so it's not so loud. I hope it's not so loud. So in the trying to get it up on the trailer last night, the rear wheel was locked up solid. So we were able to get it off the trailer. Of course, there's no light here now. We were able to get it on the trailer with the two of us, like picking the back of the bike up and getting it up there. But this rear wheel would not move at all. So when I got it home, I was going to be the only one unloading it. So I pulled the brake caliper off, made sure that everything was freed up around the brakes, and the brakes weren't locked up. but that still wasn't the case. It still would not roll. I made sure that this guy was in neutral. See there, it just went down into first. Oh, and just missed it. All right, there's neutral right there. So it was definitely in neutral. But when I tried to rock it back and forth, the drive belt was staying put and wasn't moving at all, even with the clutch engaged. So something in the transmission is locked up. That may be the only thing wrong with it, which I'm hoping is a quick, easy fix. That being said, in order to get this thing off the trailer by myself, I had to cut the drive belt. So that's going to be like $150 for itself for that. But if it's something simple, like I don't know, a gear or just something that's bound up in the transmission needs to be released, you're talking probably an afternoon of taking it apart and figuring out the problem. Hopefully there's no cost in parts, but I mean, right now we're looking at probably $200 to $300 for a fuel tank, ignition switch. These foot controls are terrible. I want to get some better ones. And you know, a couple of lights and lenses. So we're probably gonna be less than $500 in this thing. And it should be in running shape. I'm not gonna say roadworthy because I want to put some tires on it. But I want to tell you something. This is a 94 Harley Davidson Sportster 1200. And I paid $300 and an old laptop computer for it. So motorcycle deals are out there. And when this thing is in running shape, even though it's not the prettiest, we'll do a quick paint job on the fenders and whatnot and make them look a little bit better. Running condition, this thing should bring $2,500 to $3,000 all day long. So now let's go take a look at this Valkyrie. This has been my daily driver for a while, and let me tell you, it is a beast. There's a flat 6 engine. So there's one side and there's the other. It's huge. I mean, with these highway pegs, and you're resting your feet out there, look how wide that is, man. It's crazy. But let's take a listen at this old girl. Now the Valkyrie will not start in gear, which I'm sure a lot of motorcycles are like, but I've seen a lot that have been bypassed. Idle's perfectly smooth. Just listen to that. Let me tell you, boys and girls, getting on this thing at the start of your day will make the rest of your day so much better. All right, so what do we have in the Valkyrie now? Besides the fact I need to clean up the tops of the toolboxes and all of that mess. The Valkyrie, she's got 16,843 miles on it. Fresh engine. Tires that are about 1.5 years old. You can see a little bit discolored from where they've been sitting for so long. They need to be, I literally haven't even washed the spike yet. So I've got $1,000 in the bike. I had $120 for the first cylinder head that I put on that is leaking, which is now on. Hey, Bosco, this is Bosco. So this is the cylinder head right here that I purchased as a replacement, and the number one cylinder just filling up with coolant. So $1,000 for the bike, $120 for the head. I forget how much I paid for the head gasket. That didn't work, so I bought this engine. Well, it's in there now, but I bought a complete engine. It looked just like this. I had to move all my chrome pieces over and all the timing components over, off of a Valkyrie with fewer miles on it that was wrecked. And I paid $468 or so shipped for that engine to my house. Probably, all right, so we have 1,000. We've got, let's say 200 head gasket and head. So there's 1,200. 15, that's 1,700. And then another couple of hundred in oil and coolant and whatnot. I'm at $2,000 in this bike, and the Blue Book value on this bike is over $7,000. Deals can be found. Deals can definitely be found out there. I hope I'm in frame. And that's all I'm trying to get through to people is just, if you are just halfway decent at turning a wrench, you can do a couple of things. Number one, you can get a vehicle for very cheap with a little bit of TLC and a little bit of work, and turning it into a nice vehicle for yourself, or turn it into something like this Valkyrie, or what I'm going to do with the Harley back there, and flip them and make some money, and just take that money and go do it again, and go do it again, and go do it again, and just have fun with what you're doing with your money. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Go check out Chuck's video, The Flying Valiant, and look forward to a video showcasing what he did for the Shadow, because I'm hoping he took before pictures or video, because I sure didn't, of the Shadow and his detailing work. I know it's going to be good. He's had it for 2 weeks now. So yeah, that's where we're at, and hopefully as the markets improve, I'll get back into the hotshot and continue down that path. But it's too risky right now to sink that amount of money into something that we're not sure is going to be financially viable with all this stuff happening. So anyways, catch you later.